feminist, as you all know, and I really respect the opinions of women. And that's why I'm here in this woman's only gym to ask them what they think about my brand new product, Fireblood. People often come up to me and say, Andrew, you're so tall and strong and smart and funny and charismatic and extremely rich. What supplements do you take? And I explain that coffee and cigars are the only supplements I've ever needed, but perhaps as I get old, I should look into them. So I decided to do a little bit of market research, and I was very disappointed by what I saw. All of these supplements are full of chemicals I can't name, I don't know what they are, or they're full of flavorings. I thought, why can't you have a product which is only the things your body needs? Why can't you only have vitamins and minerals and amino acids? And if you're gonna do that, why not have loads of them? I've never understood, girls, if you don't mind, I've never understood why you would have 100% of your vitamin B2 when you can have 7,692% of your vitamin B2. Along with your vitamin B6 and your iodine, magnesium, zinc, copper, all the amino acids, niacin, folic acid, vitamin A, it goes on and on. In one convenient scoop with absolutely no flavorings whatsoever. Surely, Andrew, you're a business genius. What? Who hasn't thought of taking all the minerals and all the vitamins and all the amino acids and putting them in a fantastic, easy-to-use product with no flavorings whatsoever? So I've created it, Fireblood, and we're here to see what women think of it at this Girls Only Gym. So girls, this is Fireblood, this is my product. Please give us a very honest review. Girls love it. They love it. Don't listen to what girls say. They don't mean it. They love it. And that's the best thing about Fireblood, because you know what? Life is pain. Everything good in life is going to be pain. When you go to the gym, you're supposed to suffer. Every single good thing that's going to come to you in life is going to come through pain. Your supplement, what is good for your body, is never going to taste like cookie crumble. It's never going to taste like strawberry cotton candy. And if that's what you want, you are probably gay. If you are a man and you want to be as strong as humanly possible with no garbage, only the things your body needs, then you need to get used to pain and you need to get used to suffering. And only that way will you ever become a fraction of my power and manage to achieve Fireblood. Fireblood tastes disgusting because it's good for you, and like everything beneficial in life, it's hard to swallow. Fireblood is the most disgusting product you can buy, but contains every vitamin, mineral, and amino acid required for muscle growth. Your stomach may ache a little bit after consuming Fireblood if you are a dork. If you prefer supplements which taste of cookie crumble but are full of junk, you should probably get an AIDS test because you are gay.
It's not good at all, it's very disgusting. I really feel to throw up when I'm drinking.
Do you want a supplement that makes you strong, or do you want a supplement that tastes like candy because you're fucking gay?
That is a real product. It sounds like a joke, but it's not. That bell was accidental. We're going to talk about the most annoying person in the world. Just come. Y'all know who it is. It's Johnny Somali. Little hood rat from America. He's not from Somalia. I think he's Sudanese ethnically. Who gives a shit? Came over to Japan first. Fucked around, found out, ended up in jail for like 3 months. He was screaming at a middle schooler, Hiroshima, Nagasaki, do it again. The kid couldn't even understand English or what he was saying, what he was doing. I'll just attack this person out of the blue, screaming on the train. A Korean American actually intervenes, like, what are you doing? But it didn't matter. He went around and fucked about, getting drunk, screaming at people, blaring loud music instead of restaurants, trespassing, indecent exposure, glorifying Fukushima, stalking, just a general ass, until he got to Osaka and got knocked the fuck out, and his cameraman got knocked out too. And that was by a friend of mine. We took different streets. He caught him and he knocked him the fuck out. His cameraman left. Somali then he kept doing the same thing, interrupting restaurants, gets arrested in Osaka. You can't act like this. It's not Tokyo. You can't do that. Lied to the judge. Oh, I'm not making money off this. But this whole thing was enabled at first by YouTube and then by Kick, because Kick will pay you to break the law. And I think Kick needs to be held liable for that. But anyway, because after he went to jail, gets out, he's forced to apologize. And he's like, I didn't mean any of it, meaning he didn't mean the apology at all. Starts trashing Japan. He's deported. He's banned from the country. He went to Israel and fucked around there, and then he went to South Korea. I'm just giving you the very super quick version of events. He went as low as you can get in South Korea. I mean, he started off by blaring North Korean propaganda on a bus. Just blaring anything really loud on a bus is disrupting business, but dry humped and then took his shirt off and started twerking on the statues for comfort women, a child statue of rape victims. He decided it'd be fun to emulate having sex with it. And there's no fucking reason to behave like this other than you need negative attention in a bad way. Chase people around with a rotten fish, like a dead fish, shoving it up in front of old ladies' noses and stuff. Went to 7-Eleven, just poured ramen out on the floor and started throwing noodles at people. Went to Lotte World and blared sexually explicit messages in Korean in front of children. Ride had to shut down because he's being so loud and disruptive. Witness for that, I talked to her today. She didn't have to say anything at the trial because he pleaded guilty, so she got to leave. When I left, I guess, I don't know, she was hanging around outside or something. Walked to the station. I got to hear more details on that. I didn't really need any more ammo. This guy is so disgusting. And he's got more obstruction of business charges. He ended up with 6 of those, 2 minor crimes acts, 6 obstruction of justice. And then this dumbass decided to use AI, early AI that had no handbrake on it, to deep fake people in sexual situations, kissing and stuff, and lying and telling people they had a Korean girlfriend. There's no fucking way that would ever happen. Going after other streamers, clout chasing, of course, just being a real pain. He even deep faked a man nude with one of his friends, his homosexual friend Hanky Poo that he used to live with, naked on the internet. Hank doesn't care about being naked on the internet. He's on the internet anyway, spreading his asshole and stuff because he's like a male whore, gigolo, or whatever. That's what he said anyway. But the other guy didn't want to be on the internet like that. Now, the other guy is kind of a crook too. He threw a brick through the same courthouse window that I was at today. He's already in jail for something else for that. But deep fake is taken very seriously in Korea. Even if it's of your girlfriend or wife, whatever you deep fake, if you distribute deep fakes, you go to jail. And I mean a year or more. The only way, it's like impossible to police. We're like, well, one thing is that if you distribute that crap, especially if you're an influencer or something, like if I was to do that, it isn't just like me showing one person. It's showing thousands of people at once, tens of thousands, some maybe 100, whatever it is. If you distribute deep fake material, especially of a sexual nature, of real people, then you go to jail, and you go to jail for years. That was their whole problem with Telegram, because they were all sharing. They had Telegram groups where high school kids were taking pictures, mostly of girls, sometimes boys, in their high school. And once they have their face, they have total control over them. They can make them do whatever. And they're forcing them in sexual, humiliating situations and sharing it. So Korea forced Telegram to allow them to do some policing. So he did it twice. He's so stupid because the second time he did, he just like they were out standing in front of the court or whatever, and he just filmed them all and then went back and did deep fakes of people. Put it on his Discord like an idiot. People saw it. So the outcome in Korea is going to be worse for him than Japan. He's already pled guilty to 6 crimes, or 8 crimes, 2 minor crimes and 6 obstruction of justice. And then today he was such a dumbass that he confessed to a crime while pleading not guilty. He is charged with distributing deep fakes of a sexual nature. He's so dumb that he thought, well, he tried to say, well, I didn't make that. Somebody just sent it to my Discord and I showed it to my Discord. One, you did make it, but even if you lie and say someone just gave it to me and I put it on my Discord, you're distributing a deep fake, which is what the fucking charge is, dumbass. So in his attempted defense, he ended up confessing to exactly what he's being charged for. So he'll be guilty of both of those. His lawyer was overruled 4 times. His lawyer also did some pedantic shit where they were saying, well, it was bus 7011 where you did this with the North Korean propaganda music, on September 26th. Like, oh no, it was actually September 27th. It doesn't make a difference. It's a crime. You did it. So, okay, they can change the date, the details, whatever. He's dumb because last time he was in court, he has some guilty pleas, some not guilty. Then he changed one of those over to guilty. He's going to deny the deepfakes because he knows that's mandatory prison for years. But right now, he's really looking at minimal 4 years and 9 months. The more aggravated is more like 8 years, but up to 12 years. I hope he gets the 12 years, but it could be between the 4, practically 5, 4 years and 9 months, or 8 years. And although I'd love for it to be 12, it looks more like it's going to be the 8 years and change, which is good. I mean, he'll be, he's going to get old in jail. He's going to miss his best years. And that's exactly where he belongs. And then he'll get deported after that. So, and who knows? Between now, his next trial date is October 29th. He could fuck around some more because he has no self-control, no remorse. He's a psychopath. He does it all for clout. It does it all for the money. And it's not real money. He's flat ass broke. He spent $20,000 of his friend's money. He did a prank call to police for like a $5 super chat. It's not like the dollars are rolling in. He's doing stuff for like $5-10. He'll say some outlandish crap that can land him in jail. He's been punched several times in Korea. He got punched and chased in Japan and also knocked out clean in Japan by an Italian foreigner. He is going to enter the find out phase again, going back to jail. So we made these. That's him. These basically say nuisance streamer. Throw him in jail. They all need to go to jail, and he needs to be made an example of. He should get the 12 years so that people, when they're thinking of doing this crap, they don't go to Singapore and they won't go to Korea. Go somewhere else if you're going to act the fool. If you did that in America, someone might shoot you. They acted like this. That's the risk. They're not used to this. People just don't behave like that in East Asia. They don't have these kind of people. It's unheard of. Even just if you go to New York or something, people breakdancing on the subway or coming to the boombox and disrupting everyone's day. It's just a normal thing. That is not normal in Korea or Japan. People sleep on trains. It's perfectly safe. There's no graffiti. It's not it doesn't have, you don't have performance artists coming on there and doing shit. It doesn't happen. They had a little bit of trouble during the Rugby World Cup where people, foreigners, of course, were acting a fool. They straightened it out. So 8 to 12 years. That's what we're hoping. I'm hoping for the 12. He's going to be found guilty on both the deep fakes. They will bring in witnesses on the 29th. Bong Bong, and it's another streamer. It doesn't even matter. The details don't even matter. The bastard needs to go to jail. The bigger picture is Kick. Kick pays people to break the law. They know they're breaking the law, and they don't get kicked off the platform or banned or anything. They're just like, go ahead. They're monetizing being an ass clown. And there's just nothing lower than a nuisance streamer. Like, oh, I got a bunch of views. Like, yeah, you can get a lot of attention. If you just walk naked down the road, you'll get attention. You'll also be thrown in prison. It's not a talent to just be as annoying and disruptive as possible, screaming at people, taking dead animals and shoving them in people's faces and stuff. These people, I mean, if not jail, belong in a zoo where people can throw tomatoes at them or something. This person is not adjusted to be in civil society. Some people do belong in a cage. And that's where he needs to sit and rot. Now, the reason we had cabbages on the shirt, and I didn't come up with the cabbage idea, that's somebody else's, but I put it on the shirt because in Korea, you have agricultural labor when you go to jail, which is funny because he could be picking cotton, going right back to becoming farm equipment. But it's most likely going to be cabbages because of all the kimchi. That's always in there. It does set a dangerous precedent. Like, you cannot allow these people to come over and break the law and be disruptive, just act like a bunch of fucking monkeys with no remorse because they can get attention online and Kick will pay them. Kick, I think Korea and Japan should ban Kick. Just get rid of it. It's like, sorry if you're using that, but there's no policing of it whatsoever. So I know this story's not interesting to everybody. He's just like some annoying piece of shit, but I'm pretty protective of Japan and Korea. I don't want, it's like the last place left. It's like the last civil place left. We don't need it degenerating into a fucking cesspool like a lot of European capitals have become, like DC has become, like America's gone. You have like obscene homosexual naked parades and stuff. You got a little better under Trump versus Biden, and that is like one of the only good things he's done. I mean, they're practically the same. But yes, we didn't have rainbow flags everywhere last June, as you had with the hair sniffer. But it's just gone. I think East Asia is like the last place. It's really the last place Western culture exists, preserved. And if you let them in, if you let these degenerates come in and you monetize it, you're going to end up with more ass clowns. Being disrupted, you're going to have to lock your bicycle when you never did before. You have to start locking doors. You got to like chaperone your children in the playground the whole time because someone will steal them. Whatever. Like, you can't, like, if you even have like 1% criminal, it changes the whole society. A lot of freedom you lose by having these degenerate, fucking useless human beings in and out of society. Japan should have jailed him for life. Just be like, you act like that. They should have sent him to Hiroshima or Nagasaki and put him in one of those jails and then blasted what he said on the TVs in there. But he has been allegedly kicked out of his living quarters. They did update his address. We can't say what that is, but he was living with his boyfriend. Don't know if they're still lovers or not with all the money he owes him. But he's allowed, he can't leave Korea, but he's allowed to do whatever, because in Korea, unlike Romania and a lot of places, they don't just lock you up until you're found guilty. You're innocent until proven guilty. Now, he's already got 8 guilty charges done. And so when the last 2 come through, he'll be going to prison for a while. But he has the freedom of mobility and go and do whatever besides leave until those final dates. I don't think he's going to have the money even to make it to October. He's going to have to borrow more. Might end up homeless. Who cares? But yeah, he might want to reconsider and just plead guilty in October and start his jail time. Because the more he prolongs it, the more it pisses off the judge. You're dead. I mean, these crimes aren't that hard because he fucking filmed himself doing them. So it's not like it took a bunch of detective work or whatever. He bragged about it, boasted about it, put it on Kick, and copies of it on his Discord, which they purged, but there's copies of the copies. Let's see. Dr. MK Ultra asked something. Let's look at entropy. Nothing on entropy. Okay. That's just that quick update on Somali. I hope he ends up like Vitaly. Vitaly got thrown in jail in the Philippines. He doesn't even look like the same person because he doesn't have access to steroids, and he's turned into a little crying shrimp because his emotions are all fucked up from being yanked off the roids too. And he's going to be there for years. But he stole a police bike and he fucked around. And he's just doing Somali stuff. Didn't need to. The guy had millions of dollars. Like, what are you doing? They're so desperate. They're so desperate for attention. They call it clout. It's like, it's not clout. It's just you're like hate farming by disrupting people who did nothing to you. You're breaking civil societies. Yeah, the Philippines has its crime and stuff too, but compared to most places, it's pretty civil. And they just don't need to put up with that type of crap. So Vitaly's in jail. Johnny will be going back to jail. It's guaranteed he's going back to jail. The question is for how long. Well, his real name is Ramsey Cullig Ishmael. I think he shouldn't even honor him with his nickname, but none of you would know who he was otherwise. And that's all he's known for, being a fucking ass clown. Just being a little faggot that goes around and annoys people. That's all he's ever done. No real job, no accomplishments, nothing. And now he's going to be going back to prison within months. So fuck him. We'll have a Mike Jeffries and Epstein update. I'm going to the U.S. in a couple days. We're doing a private screening of the terrorist industrial complex, or Empire Mass Part 2. It's going to be good. Hoping to see what some people you know will be at that screening in that area. And then when I get back to Korea, we'll probably be releasing that film around 9/11. If it's that close, we'll go ahead and release it on 9/11. Makes it easy for everybody. But we are having a private screening in the U.S., and I might have time to do one more in somewhere in Europe, or well, easily I can do it in Asia, but aren't as many people here. But we'll have one. Until then, peace. Let's sign out with Don't Israel.
Did you just Israel my phone?
God gave it to me.
It's my phone.
God gave it
Give
to
it
me.
back.
God gave it to me.
Give it
Oh,
back.
oh my God, America. She's got a knife. Ove, help, terrorist, anti-Semite.
Some shekel chats came in while that was playing. CIA torture camp, what a name. Sends 3 on entropy, says no message. They just wanted to pop the cherry, I guess. And then Wild Squirrel, get it? Said for 15, says Anchor and Lincoln. And everybody knows that means take an anchor and shove it up Abe Lincoln's ass. And I love that when I'm not even doing streams on the Civil War, it doesn't matter what I'm talking about. If somebody says fuck Lincoln with a cactus, chainsaw, anchor, something like that. I'm glad if I left a mark on the world, is for people to know the truth about Abe Lincoln. Because right now there's some conspiracies like he was like anti-banker and no, wrong. That I know that fits with your like anti-Fed fantasy, but Lincoln created the first income tax long before Aldrich, long before 1913, long before the Fed. Lincoln created the income tax. Lincoln is what turned the U.S. into a whore for special interests and lobbyists. Lobbyists are nicknamed after Grant and Lincoln meeting so many people in hotel lobbies for bribes. He tore the country asunder. It had nothing to do with ending slavery. 6 northern states and the capital all had slaves and continue to have Asian slaves after the war, which were not affected by the 14th Amendment because they were not born in the United States. It was to protect the revenue, as he said in his first address to Congress. He did it for the revenue. If he could have won the war, he was indifferent. Whether he ended slavery, kept slavery, ended it in some areas and not other, he would have done whatever. It didn't matter to him. They were all racist in the 1860s. Toward American Indians, blacks, it didn't matter. This is how it was. Fuck Lincoln. Someone write diagonal on death to Stalin. Yeah, that's a good one too. Yeah, Vitaly's another shitbag, but he's in jail. So he found out. He's in jail and he lost his steroids and he just looks pathetic. Some of that's probably the jail diet as well. Going through reading here. Yeah. Yeah, good morning to Illinois. Taxation is theft. You got that right. If you think about it, you're all part-time slaves if you pay an income tax. It's it's upwards of 33%. And yeah, there's a bunch of ways to write off and da-da-da-da, but that means for every 3 years you worked one of them for free. That's part-time slavery. You add your property taxes and your sales taxes, which most states have, and your state taxes, plus your income tax, it's over 33. You are forced to give away your money so that the U.S. can pay for universal health care in Israel or give hundreds of $billions to a coke addict dictator in Ukraine so you can starve to death children in Gaza or Yemen. That's what your money is going to if you're an American. It's not going to you. It's not building your infrastructure. You're having ships run into bridges and, destroying both. Well, they might get another 12 F-35s or something that crash on their own. Patton just gifted a subscription. Awesome. All money on Rumble is frozen because they let you cash out through PayPal, which like most people on Rumble aren't allowed to use PayPal. But it's one of these Peter Thiel things. I think he's involved in both. So it's their way for Rumble to censor people without censoring them. Be like, oh, we didn't do that. PayPal did that. But they knew good goddamn well that PayPal is going to do that. And so any money you collect, you can't really use. Most people, though, they'll just create a new PayPal or a family member's PayPal and do that. I'm so under the target that I can't even do that. They even banned my babysitter, as you know. Like, that ain't happening. So we're stuck. So I appreciate instead to donate to Entropy. And Entropy is a small company in Canada, and they help out a lot of streamers and stuff who've been banned on everything. They were there for a lot of us. So they should get it anyway. Rumble's got plenty of money. Let's see. Yeah, one good result of all this is they're getting even more strict borders. They're making it harder to get visas, and they're making laws not only against deepfakes, but against streaming. Japan, especially, there's parts of Kyoto, they just don't let foreigners in at all because so many of them are going there and fucking around that they just closed it off. They're like, if you're not Japanese, you can't come here. And I 100% support that. Because even though, someone like myself, someone like a lot of, millions of people really could come, behave, respect the culture, respect the rules. There's so many who don't, and they're foreign. They are. That is a pattern you can notice. And so they should just be barred from areas. I'm sure, proving your worth, you could get in anyway. A lot of things that say Japanese only, I am still allowed to do. It's more like Japanese language only or something. It is asshole gaijin. Like, Korea, Koreans are more likely to get physical with you. Japan, it will do nothing until they don't, and they snap all at once. You just shouldn't have to deal with this crap. Go try that in China. See what happens. Well, it would just blend in some places, but in other places, you're not going to see a trial. You're just going to jail. And they'll whip you or cane you in Singapore. I'm all for the corporal punishment and all that. I'm like, yeah, hit them with a cane. Like, in addition to, throwing someone in a cage, because some of these psychopaths don't care. Their life is basically a cage anyway. The standard of living in jail and the standard of living they have out of jail are almost the same. They need like physical, painful punishment, like getting beat with a cane or a whip. And then you force them to pick cabbage or cotton or whatever, so they can do something useful, since the state has to pay for your room and board. All right. Thanks for the anti-Lincoln stuff, and we'll see you. I'll try and squeeze in one more stream before I go to the United States. And the Mike Jeffries and Peter Nygaard and other billionaire perverts will be on hold on Substack. We have a 9/11 map coming out, a 9/11 movie coming out, huge movie. Been working on it for years, the big one. And we've got a book and a ghostwritten book. So a lot of things, and they all just kind of came at once. Close to 300,000 on Twitter. I think I lost some followers by saying Bridget Macron's a woman, but she is. I don't like the Macrons. I don't like just about anything in the French government, but you shouldn't bite a shit sandwich because it discredits everything else you're going to say. It's flat earther level stupid to say that too. Well, it's not that stupid, but it's pretty bad. Peace, y'all. Now we can donate Israel.
Did you just Israel my phone?
God gave it to me.
It's my phone.
God gave it
Give
to
it
me.
back.
God gave it to me.
Give it
Oh,
back.
oh my God, America!
You know what's funny is we made these before that. This was mine 3,000 years ago. AI.
She's got a knife. Ove!
We started
help,
this.
Terrorist! Anti-Semite! I was in the shop getting my bagels, just using my phone, and this Palestinian terrorist, 3 times my size, wielding a knife, came out of nowhere, broke my arm, tried to take the phone that God gave to me. Allah Akbar! Allah Akbar!